Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Predictive Playbook. This is the Daily Dime. NCAA Basketball. I'm going to break down 3 games for you just like I did on Saturday morning and hopefully give you a better result than the poor 1-2 record we had on the Saturday plays. And that happens. This is a grind, folks. And before I get to the plays, I do want to give you a quick reminder to get over to sportsmemo.com and make this a long-term investment in yourself to have someone like me working for you. You can start doing that tonight at a very cheap price, under $2 a day for the next 372 days. You're getting a week for free ahead of the Super Bowl. And this package costs $699 and carries you all the way through to next year's Super Bowl. It includes that Sunday. So you're locked in all sports, all plays, including my 5 and 10 percenters, which, as you know, I've hit 75% in the NFL this year. For just $699, it's saving you $600 off the regular price of $12.99. And your all access starts immediately. As soon as you go to sportsmemo.com and take advantage of this offer, we start tonight. And tonight I have 6 best bets, 3 each in the NCAA hardwood and the NBA. And we're in each of those sports as well. So start thinking of this as a long-term investment. I've been doing this 27 years, and there's a reason why I've lasted 27 years doing this. And I'll leave it at that. I'm not very good at hype. I don't like it. I just like talking the facts. And the facts are you can get more than a year, all access for every single sport, including PGA golf, which was outstanding last year, for just $699, less than $2 a day. There's not a better deal on the planet right now. So let's now get started here. We're going to first take a look at it's Bedlam. There's no other word to call it. This is going to be a very physical game, and I'm talking about the Kansas Jayhawks when they go to Austin, Texas to take on the Texas Longhorns. Texas is ranked number 20 in the latest poll, while Kansas is number 8. Texas is a 1.5-point home underdog. I think the market is correct on that. Texas is 14-1 at home, however. They are 8-7 against the number at home. Kansas is 19-3 overall. They're 5-1 on the road against the spread. They are 3-3 on the road. So not much there. But here are some of the latest trends going right now, supporting and going against each team. The Jayhawks are 14-6 against the spread their last 20 road games, facing a team with a win percentage above 600, so 60% win percentage or better for the opponent. Jayhawks are 3-7-1 against the number, last 11 road games versus a team with a winning home record, which obviously Texas does. They only have 1 loss. The Jayhawks are just 6-19 against the spread their last 25 games following a straight-up win of more than 20 points. Jayhawks 1-4 their last 5 games following an ATS win, and 1-4 against the spread their last 5 games following a straight-up win. Let's see what the Longhorns have for us here on the short term. They are just 2-5 in their last 7 games as a home underdog. That doesn't bode well. 2-5 against the spread their last 7 games versus a team with a winning straight-up record. They're 7-21 their last 28 plays versus teams with a win percentage greater than 60%, which Kansas does. Longhorns are just 3-10 against the spread of their last 13 games versus a team with a winning road record. Longhorns are 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games following a straight-up win. So this is, like I said, the feathers are going to fly in this game tonight. These are 2 very, very strong defensive teams that like to play physical. They like to bang, and I think the refs will have a handful trying to get some semblance of a flow. All the players want is consistency, and I just hope we don't hear too many whistles in the beginning in an attempt to calm the physicality of this matchup down to what else am I going to call it? A normal basketball game. This is not a normal matchup. This is going to be, it's going to be physical, folks. It's going to be very physical. Longhorns' Marcus Carr scored 14 points, including the go-ahead 3-pointer at the end of the first half in their win against Iowa State. They trailed in that game for the entire first half until that shot. Then they never looked back. They came out the second half and just absolutely blew them off the court. At one point, had gone on a 15-0 run against the Cyclones. And the fact of the matter is the Longhorns play great when their defense plays great. They're 17-0 this season when they hold an opponent to 60 or fewer points. But is it realistic to hold Kansas to just 60 points? And that's the problem with this matchup from a handicapping perspective. The Kansas Jayhawks ranked 19th nationally, scoring an average of 81 points per game. That's going up against the best scoring defense in the land, the Longhorns, who allow 54.9 points per game. But a lot of that has to do with pace, where they rank 328th in field goals attempted per game at just 54. So there is a lean here towards Kansas. You even though they're on the road, and that auditorium in Austin, Texas is going to be just absolutely on fire for this matchup, because this is a win that would put Texas right back into the hunt for the Big 12 and right back into the thick of things, even for a national championship that could be done with their defense. We saw Virginia do it. Why couldn't Texas do it? So this will be a very, very exciting game. My whole lean here is to the under, and it's backed by a system here that's gone 107 and 70 to the under. That's 61% over the last 5 seasons. So if you like a lot of action from a betting angle and a betting system, you come to the right place. So the requirements are to bet under with a road team that is shooting 48% or better from the field for the season, and are coming off a game in which they allowed the opponent to shoot 33% or less in that game. That has produced 61% winners over the last 5 seasons, as I said. Now, if the game has a total between 130 and 139.5, which this game does, the under record now soars to 71% winners over the last 5 seasons on a 39 and 17 under record. I don't think this game is going to come close to the total, and my predictive models show a high probability that the winner could be less than 65 points in this matchup. So take the under, make sure you watch this, and put the Olympics picture in a picture. I did have on a separate video, I did do men's downhill, and Crawford was my pick from Canada to medal at 8-1, and he came in 4th. But just 27/100ths of a second from first place. So my point is, make sure you get over to Sports Memo TV and subscribe and get all the shows that we produce in all the sports. I have some great guests on these shows, and they are worth their weight in gold for me just to have them on the show, and I get to listen to what they say, and that helps my handicapping immensely as well. Let's move on to the second game here. We have George Mason at Richmond, and this game is in the Colonial Athletic Association. Starting at 7 o'clock, obviously we played in Richmond. I'm sorry, this is part of the Atlantic 10. I stand corrected there. So Richmond, 61% of the bets are on Richmond, 39% are on George Mason. The line is Richmond -7 as a home favorite. The total is 138.5. Richmond is 15-8 on the season. They're 8-3 at home. Their home ATS record, though, is 4-7. That's not very good. What else can I tell you here? On George Mason is 11-9. They're 3-4 on the road, 4-3 in the road against the spread, and just 6-4 over/under. So we haven't found much already in this matchup, but we will. Now the Patriots are 5-0 against the spread their last 5 games as underdog. They are also 5-1 their last 6 road games when facing a team with a home winning percentage of greater than 60%, which Richmond has. They are also 5-1 when playing a team with a winning straight-up record for the season, and they're 5-1 their last 6 games overall. Now, the Richmond Spiders come into this with some interesting trends of their own, too, not all good. The Spiders are 5-1 against the spread their last 6 games as a favorite. They are 5-11 in their last 16 games on a Monday night. Spiders are 2-5 against the spread their last 7 home games, facing a team with a road winning percentage of less than 40%. Spiders are 2-6 last 8 home games, facing a team with a losing road record. So it doesn't sound like Richmond is in a really good spot here. Richmond ranks 121st nationally in scoring at 73.4, going up against a George Mason defense that ranks 138th, allowing 73 points per game. Advantages go to points allowed per game to George Mason, who ranks 159th, allowing 68, while Richmond ranks 189th, allowing 69.2 points per game. Now, Richmond will play a lot faster than George Mason. They like to run a little bit better than the average NCAA team in Division I level. They attempt 58.9 field goals per game. George Mason only 55.9. But it's that defense of George Mason that I like in this matchup, and why I am definitely leaning on George Mason to cover this spread. They're getting 8 right now, I believe 7.5 at most places, but I think my game time, I'm recording this at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 4 hours from now, say 3.5 hours before 30 minutes before game time. I think you'll be able to get at least 7.5 because the public is going to come in more on Richmond than they have in the first half of the day of sports betting. So we have a bet here on George Mason. We also have a bet on the under in the Kansas game against Texas. Now I want to point out one live betting opportunity with this. In live betting, and I love doing it, it comes from my Wall Street days as a chief currency strategist. I worked there for many, many years. And I always had this, the sports betting kind of on the side. It's very similar to what trading is like on Wall Street. It really is. Vegas is not trying to make a prediction on the final score, like the Super Bowl, for example. What they want is equal action, equal dollar amounts, not number of tickets, but dollar amounts on each side. If they successfully do that, they could care less who wins. And you know why? Because they get 10% of the take. So always remember that. And it's one of my little, quirky pet peeves when I hear it on TV and somebody's saying, well, let's see what Vegas thinks. Well, they're not thinking anything except making 10% of your money when you lose. So that's the point. Live in-game betting in this game, you're going to have some flows where both teams are going to score abundantly. So what I want to watch here is when they get on those runs and they're averaging more than 6 points per minute, okay, if they get that high. If they do that for 3 consecutive minutes, and you could track it in your head or just write it down on a notepad, when they start scoring on it seems like every bucket, just keep a mental track of it. It doesn't have to be exact, but when the total for this game, which right now is 131 right now. It opened at about 135.5. So it's come down a lot right now. And I still don't think I don't think either team's going to score 65. So I'm still good all the way down to 129.5. I really like this game. Now, if it goes to 129.5 and you're watching this video and you go, oh no, now what do? I'll tell you what you do. My recommendation is to take 50% of your normal bet, put it on the under at whatever price it is, whatever time you're doing it, and then look for 135.5 in game to bet the other 50%. If you want to get a little trickier, there's a little bit more risk that you might not get the second part of this bet, but do 50% pre-flop, 25% at 135.5, and then the last 25% at 139.5. And I think if both teams come out smoking hot, which is what you want to see in this game, believe me, it'll slow down. But if they come out hot at both ends of the court, you'll have a chance to get all 3 of these parts. So if you're a $100 bettor, $50 pre-flop, 25%, $25 at 135.5, $25 at 139.5. Virginia's having a kind of a rough year. They are number 25 in the nation in the latest poll, going up against number 6 Duke, who just absolutely hammered North Carolina in Coach K's last trip to the North Carolina University for a basketball game. Almost kind of sad, but I'm sure there's a lot of coaches that are eager to see that successful man leave the ACC. With all due respect, of course, he's certainly a well-loved man in all kinds of basketball circles. But anyway, what we have here is Virginia team that got off to a dreadful start in the beginning of the season. They had losses to Navy and James Madison. And unless the Cavaliers really get their act together here and get some marquee wins, they play Duke 2 more times. So tonight at Duke, which they haven't won there since 2018. And if you look at it, this team is not as good as some of those teams that went there in previous seasons and still didn't win. So with that kind of a raucous environment, it's probably one of the nation's toughest road atmosphere. And Virginia has consistency issues on the offensive end. They struggle to score for too many minutes at a time. And against a team like Duke, if that happens, this could get ugly in a hurry. So even though the point spread is 12, I like this up to 13.5. And it almost sounds like I'm talking about an ACC football game with Virginia and Duke, but I'm not. But think of it this way. All the games that have happened between these two teams over the last 12 meetings have been sided by single digits. Now, the market is lined at 12. I believe, in my opinion, that the market is telling us to take Duke, and that there's a reason why Duke is favored by this many points. 12 points is a lot in a conference matchup, and I do believe that Virginia just doesn't have the manpower. They rely on basically two scorers, Clark and Beekman, and they're really the only players that have the experience necessary to go on the road to Duke and take on that atmosphere and that team. So I don't think they have enough in this matchup. We'll have to see how it goes, and then we'll have to see how the rematch goes when they play at Charlottesville. So my take here is play on Duke. This is qualifies as a 3-unit best bet. The 4-unit under bet is Texas and Kansas, and then a 3-unit bet on George Mason, the Patriots, over the Spiders. I run a 3, 4, and 5-unit system. It's 3, 4, and 5% of the bankroll. Not everybody does that, but it's very effective. It gives me discipline every single day, and that's the key. There's no 4% play is any better than or weaker than another 4% play. So when they come up on my predictive models, it's discipline. It's just go with it. This is what it's saying. I trust it. I've been working with it for 27 years, and the results speak for themselves. So I want to take this time to thank everyone for watching this Daily Dime show for Monday, February 7th, 2022. Make sure you get over to the Sports Memo and get at least the $9 packages. You get 6 picks, NCAA 3-pack, NBA 3-pack. Each pick averages out to $3. So $18, you get 6 plays on 2 different packages. I hope you take advantage of that. And more importantly, I hope you invest in a longer-term approach and give someone like myself a shot at working for you. That's my whole goal, is to work for you and make you money over the course of a season. We're going to have losing streaks. We're going to have winning streaks. But what matters is how much money you make at the end of the season. So I am also 18-5 in Super Bowls, and I've had some fortuitous endings in Super Bowls that have gotten me to that point. Just note the Patriot wins against the Falcons, for example, and at Seattle when they forgot that they had Marshawn Lynch to run the ball at the 1. So I don't really think those had they were fortuitous. That was not because of good handicapping. But I'm 18-5. I will have the Super Bowl pick out later today, probably around 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you get that. They'll be added to it throughout the week. Prop bets. Last year I had 12 of them. They did very, very well. They went 8-4 with actually 8-3-1 against the spread, 1 push. But anyway, take advantage of that as well when it comes out, and I'll stop talking. So thanks very much for watching this show. Have yourself a great Monday in the sports betting markets, and we'll look forward to seeing you again tomorrow with another edition of the Daily Dime Betting Show. And so until then, always remember, bet with your head and not over it, and may all the wins be yours.